We welcome you to our celebration of the Center for Vital Longevity's 10th anniversary. My name is Scott Murray, and as I said, I'm going to be serving as your Master of Ceremonies tonight, and most delighted to be here tonight. I am not only going to be your MC, I'm also a very proud member of the CVL Advisory Council. So this is a very, very special event. My wife, Carol, over here, wave, my dear. Let everybody know where you are. We are honored to be serving as the chairs for this event, and alongside two dear, dear friends, Bob and Myrna Schlegel. Please stand up, and these are our honorary chairs, folks. I just remember that poor oh, that's terrible, poor Myrna, she's very athletic and kind of bent her legs, so she's kind of stuck in this chair all night, and I have you stand up. I'm sorry, I forgot that. But it's great to see you, and thanks for all you continue to do in our community, and certainly for CVL, and this is just great. Great to have you both here. And I'm looking for my sidekick, wherever she is. Oh, there she is. How are you? I haven't seen you all night. Do you all know Lindsay? She's our chair, the Center for Longevity, Vital Longevity Advisory Council, and she's got a few things she'd like to say. Hello, my friend. How are you?
How are you?
Welcome.
All right, first and foremost, I don't talk into microphones too often, so a little grace would be greatly appreciated. But I am Lindsay Klumpers. I'm the chair of the Advisory Council for the Center for Vital Longevity. And I'm very excited to be here. Scott and I are both super pumped to be celebrating the 10th anniversary, give or take a few COVID years, of the founding of the Center for Vital Longevity. I think I speak on behalf of all of the, let me just read this real quick. I think I speak on behalf of all the Advisory Council members when I say one of the coolest parts of serving on the committee is getting to know the scientists and the students at the Center for Vital Longevity. Not only are they brilliant scientists, but they're also really cool people, and it's been really fun getting to know them. Denise, wherever you are, there you are. Mick, Shauna Malika, Goggin, Karen, Kendra, and Kristen. I think I speak on behalf of the entire council when I say congratulations on this epic milestone. We are just really happy to be here and celebrate you. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. I'll pass it back over to Scott.
Thanks, Lindsay, so very, very much. And Lindsay didn't introduce herself as a member of that incredible group that she just shared with you, but she does an incredible job as our chair of the Advisory Council for CVL. So thanks for all you continue to do every single day, my friend. That's great. Well, as we move on, ladies and gentlemen, to begin this evening's remarks, what I'm going to do is have you welcome our good friend, yet another great friend, and a gentleman that is certainly committed to making things all that much better at CVL and education here in this great city that we all call home. He is the president of the University of Texas at Dallas. Please put your hands together and welcome Dr. Richard Benson. He had to go via Lubbock to get up here. Yeah. How you doing?
Okay, good. All right. Well, thank you, Scott, and welcome everybody. And I'm honored to be with you tonight for this celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Center for Vital Longevity. And I think I've just learned that COVID years are the opposite of dog years, right? Have we got that figured? So this celebration is a little bit overdue, having been rescheduled because of the pandemic. But it is wonderful to be together for this important event. And the highlight of our evening is to acknowledge and celebrate the founder of the center, Dr. Denise Park. The Center for Vital Longevity houses one of the strongest groups anywhere in the world of cognitive neuroscientists dedicated to the study of aging. Their work to better understand how aging impacts the mind and brain in health and disease has far-reaching implications for all of us. As the president of UT Dallas, I am immensely proud of the center and the remarkable group of researchers. Our university has a rapidly growing reputation as a Tier 1 research institution, and this center contributes greatly to that distinction. CVL extends the university's reach into the community by bringing distinguished scientists to North Texas to speak about their research. And thus tonight, we welcome scientists from across the country and beyond, from as far away as Germany. And they, along with others, will gather tomorrow for a one-day scientific symposium focused on the cognitive neuroscience of the aging mind. And each of these scientists has a special tie with UT Dallas and the Center for Vital Longevity, specifically through Dr. Park. They were mentored by her or studied with her, and all have collaborated on research with her. And this is why tonight we honor Dr. Park for her lifetime achievements in the field of cognitive aging. Denise, tonight we celebrate you and we salute the center's remarkable first 10 years. Thank you. And while we are marking this milestone for the center, I want to note that this is just the beginning. The students and others who spend time in the Center for the Center for Vital Longevity are not only the center's legacy, but also this university's. Scientific advances made here, and by extension in the labs across the world where our CVL-trained scientists work, have the potential to unlock new understanding in keeping our brains cognitively healthy over our lifetimes. As a professional educator, I'm fond of stressing the importance of lifelong learning, and such an endeavor requires healthy brains. So I want to thank each of our researchers and trainees for the work that you're doing that will benefit us all. And now, if you may, a few words about UT Dallas. If you haven't had the opportunity to tour our campus recently, I invite you to schedule a visit. You will find a vibrant campus with innovative programs and remarkable students and faculty. Through our Office of Research and Innovation, we are partnering with many corporations in the Metroplex. We have 5 research centers and an extension of our Venture Development Center located in the new Richardson Innovation Quarter, or Richardson IQ. UT Dallas is known for being a STEM-focused school, but our presence in the arts is also growing. We have just broken ground for the Peter and Edith O'Donnell Athenaeum, which will become the new home of the Trammell and Margaret Crowe Museum of Asian Art. And in case you're wondering, the Crowe Museum across the street will continue to be part of that UT Dallas resource for another 35 years or so, and maybe longer. So the second phase of the Athenaeum will provide a 600 to 800 seat performance hall. And finally, a joint UT Dallas and UT Southwestern research facility, the Texas Instruments Biomedical Engineering and Sciences Building, is under construction on the UT Southwestern East Campus. And regarding this latter development, I note that our friends in Richardson like to say that we are the University of Texas at Dallas in Richardson. But I'd like to point out that we're also the University of Texas at Dallas in Dallas. And you see that in the sizable footprint that we have in the Dallas Medical District, either on or near the UT Southwestern campus. And front and center in that medical district impact is the Center for Vital Longevity. So to Denise, Mick, and the entire team at CVL, thank you for all you have done to make the center, the university, and the city of Dallas such a success. It is a delight to celebrate your achievements and your vision tonight. Cheers.
Thanks, President Benson. I tell you what, that sounds good enough. I'm all ready to go back to college, for Pete's sake. That's all you know. Sounds like some great stuff. Thanks so much for all you continue to do, and certainly thanks for being here tonight. And we certainly thank you for your great, remarkable leadership at the University of Texas at Dallas. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome my longtime friend, Bob Schlegel, to the stage. Now, before he comes up here, let me tell you a little something about him. Bob and his wife, Myrna, support many important causes, and I'm most grateful that they joined Carol and I in supporting the Center for Vital Longevity by serving as the honorary chairs of tonight's dinner. I used to say for many, many years on a radio show I did, live your life as a go-getter, but share your life as a go-giver. And that's what the Schlegels do every single day. They are committed. They make a difference in the lives of those that need it most. And this time around, they're here for CVL. So Bob, come on up here. Let's put our hands together for Bob Schlegel.
Thank you, Scotty. Scotty's so good at this. I had to take a long way around, Scotty. I'm a lot older than you are. So I had a great friend over the years. His name was Walter Scott, Omaha, Nebraska guy. He passed away this year, and he had 3 tips in his life. He used to talk about it a lot, and I've always remembered them. In fact, he told me to always remember them and never forget them. So I did. So number 1 was the greatest asset in your life is your health. Don't do anything to jeopardize it. So especially tonight, it's very appropriate tonight at University of Texas Dallas. We're here to not only not jeopardize our lives, but make them a lot better. And the Center for Longevity is a big part of that. His number 2 was, the greatest thing you can acquire is an education, because nobody can take it away from you. So that's also very important for tonight. UTD, you get a better education and acquire all the education you can, because nobody can take it away from you. You can't lose it. It's yours forever, and improve the world and improve your life. And number 3 was, be a giver. There's enough takers in this life, in this world. So be a giver. So I think that's also appropriate for tonight. The whole meeting purpose tonight is for longevity, is to give to longevity, and give to health, and give to education. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob, so very, very much. And Myrna, thank you as well, really. You guys are always, always there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a gentleman that really, as they say, really needs no introduction. He is the director of the Center for Vital Longevity. I'm going to bring the man himself up here. We call him Mick. Please welcome Dr. Michael Rugg, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks very much, Scott. So thank you, Lindsay, Carol, and Scott, Myrna, and Bob, and President Benson, for your support of the center and for your very kind remarks. We're able to celebrate, rather belatedly, the 10th anniversary of the center, 2 years late, tonight, because we've been fortunate to have extraordinary leaders, both within the university and throughout our community. And this has been true throughout the center's history. Many of you are in the room tonight, and I thank you for being here. I thank you for your friendship. I thank you for your support. I thank you for your advice. I would just like to have a round of applause for the people who've been with us, many of them from the beginning of the center. Thank you so much. And I'd like to take a moment just to acknowledge 3 people whose vision and leadership and advocacy were foundational to the center, who are no longer with us. Dr. Hobson Windlethal, our longtime provost. He was not only a constant presence at the center's events, but he was instrumental in supporting Dr. Denise Park in the establishment of the center. He shared our goals for scientific rigor and scientific excellence, and he was an invaluable, and I might say inexhaustible, source of wisdom and guidance. Second, Dr. Bert Moore, who was the Dean of the School of Behavioral and Brain Sciences. Like Hobson, Dean Moore supported Denise's vision, and he was, again, a constant source of support and wisdom until his untimely passing in 2015. And last, but absolutely not least by any means, Mr. Bill Buziotis, the legendary Dallas architect. Out of his leadership, our Directors Research Circle was born and continues to this day. His legacy and that of his wife Jean live on in an endowment that supports the annual Jean and Bill Buziotis Distinguished Lecture. And we have, I think, in the room tonight, at least 2 people who have been distinguished lecturers in that lecture series. I might say we look forward to the next lecture in October. If you want to mark your diaries now, it's October the 27th. But we're so grateful to each of these individuals for their investment in the vision of CVL. That vision, though, was first and foremost the vision of my dear friend and colleague, Denise Park, who we're honoring tonight. It's a vision that powered the center over its first decade and will continue to do so going forward. The resulting scientific impact can be appreciated from just a couple of statistics. Since 2011, center faculty have been awarded some $36 million in competitive federal research grants. And we have published 200 or more peer-reviewed research papers in the scientific literature. Denise, you have a lot to answer for. We've prepared a short video for you, so hopefully you will feel empowered to eat your salad and anticipate your entrees and top up your wine glasses. The video will tell you a little bit more about the center and Denise. And let me acknowledge Scott and his company, who are responsible for the production of the video at remarkably short notice and with incredible professionalism. Thank you so much, Scott. So enjoy.
Scientists at the UT Dallas Center for Vital Longevity conduct some of the world's foremost research on memory, cognitive aging, and risk factors for Alzheimer's disease.
CVL is a collection of scientists of various levels of seniority that all have as one of their major interests an understanding of brain function and how brain function differs across the human lifespan.
Since its founding more than 10 years ago, the center's researchers have studied everything from basic mechanisms of memory to changes in the brain associated with the earliest signs of cognitive impairment, all with the goals of increasing our understanding of cognition changes across the lifespan and finding ways to slow cognitive decline.
I think everyone should have a very serious interest in how the brain ages. We didn't used to live so long.
It is very difficult to give advice about how to stay sharp mentally for as long as possible. That's really very different to the advice that I would have given you 20 years ago. If we want to build on that and to understand more about how we can slow or halt cognitive decline as we grow older, we just need more knowledge. That knowledge comes from basic research, and that is what we are in the business of trying to do.
The center is a vibrant community that has become known not only for the quality of its scientific research, but also for its efforts in public education. Regular events provide opportunities for our community to learn more about what's happening at the center and bring world-renowned scientists to speak in Dallas.
I come to hear the lectures from the faculty at CVL at every opportunity. I enjoy the poster presentations where they bring in their postdoctoral students, their doctoral students, the undergrads. So I like that they're training the next generation to go forth.
It's the programs they've put on for the general public, for people like me and you, really are educational. And the really good speakers can do it in a way that even I can understand.
Everyone knows about this place outside of Dallas. In the research community, they're famous, and we have the opportunity to have a small part of it.
Getting involved in an organization like CVL can help drive the message out to the next generation of how it's so important to do research and to be able to understand what's happening so we can find the cause and eventually the cure.
The research conducted at the center is foundational for interventions and treatments that will help keep people mentally sharp for as long as possible.
They are famous among the world, and to be a part of it in that scene is very cool.
And what I love about CVL is they're working on what's going right and what's going wrong with the idea that maybe one day you'll never have to meet me.
Everyone who is involved with the center and its research as a study participant, an event attendees, or a supporter contributes to the fulfillment of this goal.
I just can't reiterate enough how grateful I am to have the opportunity to play my role here. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see where they're going down the road.
It's amazing what CVL has done in 10 years. It was a very small organization 10 years ago. I knew about it 10 years ago, and to see how much it's grown and to be recognized around the world as one of the leading research organizations, it's truly a tribute to both of them.
Both of them, referring to CVL Director Dr. Michael Rugg and the founding director of the Center for Vital Longevity, Dr. Denise Park.
Denise Park is a force of nature, a remarkable woman. It was her vision and her energy that led to the founding of CVL. And it's only because of Denise that I had the opportunity to join UTD and to join CVL. Moreover, she has made seminal contributions scientifically to the field of cognitive aging, and also to mentoring many of what are now leading researchers in the field in their own right. It is a privilege to have this opportunity to say to Denise, thank you for all you've done.
Well, I think the majority of you certainly know what CVL does every single day, making a difference in the lives of those that, well, that we're all going to be a part of someday. So thanks to everybody. Denise, we thank you, and so good to see you here. Thanks so much for being here. This is your legacy, and we're all proud to be a part of it here. Thank you so very, very much. And we thank those of you that came from wherever you might have driven from here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area today. We thank you for being here tonight. Enjoy the fellowship at your respective tables, and we'll be back with the second half of our program right after dinner. Thanks again, everybody. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready, we're going to go ahead with our program. In the interest of time, please continue to enjoy your dinner. I want you all to know that we're able to be here tonight celebrating the Center for Vital Longevity because of the vision, the courage, the intellect, certainly the leadership of Dr. Denise C. Park, who founded the center, as you heard earlier tonight, and of course, probably most of you already knew that. But we're fortunate to have with us tonight some of Denise's closest friends, family members, colleagues, mentors, and even former students that are joining us here tonight. So please join me, first of all, in welcoming Dr. Joshua Cohen, Assistant Professor of Psychology at the University of Notre Dame, to the stage. Dr. Cohen was a postdoctoral fellow at the Center for Vital Longevity, working with Mick Rugg, and so where is he? Is he here? Oh, you're right here. Well, you're young enough to give it a jump, huh? Oh, look at this. One, just like that, just jumps right up. Put your hands together and welcome Dr. Cohen.
Thanks, Scott. Awesome. So first off, I'd just like to say I'm very happy to be here for the 10th anniversary of the CVL. The CVL holds a very special place in my heart. It's a place where I developed not only as a scientist, but just really as a person. It was a place where I was able to follow my passion in my career, but also be around my family. So I would, first off, really just like to thank Denise Park, not only for your vision for the Center for Vital Longevity, and not only for the work you do, which, as you know, has greatly inspired a lot of the research I do, but also for really motivating me to get in this field. And I don't know if you remember, back in about 2007 and 2008, there was a joint lab meeting with your lab at that time, the Center for Brain Health, and Dr. Tim Odegaard's lab at UT Arlington. I was an undergrad in his lab, and I actually happened to be at that meeting, and that's the first time we met. And just your passion and just the research you were doing on aging really motivated me to go down this path. So thank you very much for that. I would also like to thank Mick, obviously, for just everything that you have done, not just while I was at the CVL, but even to this day. I know you're someone I can always reach out to for advice in my career, and so thank you for that. And you know, we're here to celebrate both the Center for Vital Longevity and Dr. Denise Park as well. One thing about the center I think is just great. It is a great training environment for so many students. All of the faculty at the center are truly invested in the success of their students, their postdoctoral fellows, and them becoming the next generation of scientists. Without all of their support, I wouldn't be where I am at today and have this position at the University of Notre Dame. Nor would I have been fortunate enough to have been awarded a fellowship from the National Institute of Aging, as well as receiving and being supported by a fellowship from the Aging Mind Foundation. So thank you all for everything, and congratulations on a decade of amazing research, amazing support for trainees, And congratulations on that decade, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. So thank you all.
Thanks, Dr. Cohen. Great to have you here tonight. Well, next I'd like to invite to the podium Dr. Angela Gutches. Dr. Gutches is a professor of psychology at Brandeis University, and she was a postdoctoral fellow working with Denise at the Beckman Institute at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. Is that right? Got it all right? Delighted to have you here. Welcome. Come on, let's put our hands together and welcome her.
Well, I began working with Denise as a graduate student at the University of Michigan nearly 24 years ago, or last century. So that gave me quite a lot of material to think about what I wanted to say today, and I promised I kept it short. But I first wanted to share a few of the important lessons that Denise has taught me as a scientist. So the first is how good Denise is at detecting the zeitgeist of the field. When I was first in her lab, she made the major pivot to adopt a cognitive neuroscience perspective to study aging. And we were reminiscing about that tonight, about making that move was a major move at the time. And I think we can all here appreciate how it shaped our own careers, the science, as well as the founding of the center itself. Even well before any of us worked with her, she apparently transitioned from doing research with rodents in graduate school to studying cognitive aging in humans. And it's hard for me to imagine how to make that change at that time. As we'll see in the talks tomorrow for those who will be attending, her contributions to the field of aging are innumerable. What Good Cognitive Aging Symposium doesn't include at least one talk showing her graph of crystallized and fluid abilities across the lifespan. I even heard that one department issued a moratorium on showing that slide because it appeared in so many talks. But I've also been impressed witnessing how Denise's science is shaped by the settings that she's been in, whether it was a cognitive neuroscience and culture focus at Michigan, the intervention focus at Illinois, and here at Dallas, the more medical setting and influence moving into amyloid scans and pathological diseases associated with aging, and how her work continues to adapt as the field grows. Through Denise, I also learned the importance of collaborations. Denise has always been quick to embrace people with expertise and skills that complement her own. What I hadn't initially appreciated about that was how much more fun it makes the work to do it with other people, and how much smarter it makes me by continuing to learn from those smarter people. So I think that we can all appreciate, Josh mentioned this as well, the passion with which Denise approaches her work, that she pursues ideas relentlessly. And I remember the old days escaping to hotel rooms to be able to focus on writing so that she didn't have all the other life distractions when something was due. One thing I have yet to crack is Denise's speediness. I think all of us who have worked with her appreciate the kind of constant being in motion with Denise. So there were times I would go to her house to try to finish a grant or write a chapter, and she'd be on the phone, doing email, running around. I'd be sitting in the room for hours, churning out a couple of paragraphs, and she somehow would emerge with pages of writing. I don't know when she did it, but somehow in all that movement and busyness, she got it done. I'm still hoping to learn that. I also want to share beyond what I've learned about from the work, as some of the ways working with Denise has shaped my life. I wouldn't have imagined as a graduate student in my mid-20s how much I would come to love travel and having the opportunities to see different parts of the world. Her collaborations with researchers in China and later Singapore really expanded my view of the globe, which probably was largely Western Europe as a 20-something person. So I've really felt lucky to be able to travel and see so much of the world, and that's something she really began and has inspired in her own life as well. And also an early lesson was, I think, keeping cool as an American traveler during some international conflicts, which I think at least Joe Michaels can remember well. Despite the unlikely trajectory, I feel really extraordinarily lucky to find myself as someone who studies culture and gets to really live that. Finally, I wanted to thank you, Denise, for all these opportunities and your support in my professional life as well as my personal life. I think you know that during my divorce, I really needed someone who got that, and I really appreciated that you were there for me for that. And also just thank you for believing in me throughout my career. When I didn't believe in myself, I couldn't imagine getting a job, publishing a paper, getting a grant. So the fact that you've supported me and believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself has meant so much. So thank you from me and for all you've done for our field. Thanks.
Thank you so much for being here. That was just great. And boy, do you ever talk fast. I was in the news business for 30 years. You could do an hour newscast in 30 minutes. That'd be great. Phenomenal. Thank you so much for being here, too. It's really great to hear these incredible stories. So we go from Brandeis University. Now we move on. We next welcome to the podium Dr. John Q. Stillwell and Ms. Nancy O'Neill. Jack and Nancy have been some of the center's strongest advocates almost since its very founding. So oh, here they come, right here. Jack and Nancy, let's put our hands together and welcome them to the podium.
Good evening. What a wonderful occasion this is. And Denise, you look beautiful tonight. My husband Jack and I were at a UTD lecture where Denise first officed. He told me he wanted me to meet her, telling me she was a brilliant scientist and was doing very interesting research. Denise showed us her offices and talked some about her work. What impressed me about her was her friendliness and her enthusiasm about what she wanted to accomplish. We became friends and we've had some wonderful visits. I know everyone here knows of her work, but what you may not know is the time she takes to give guidance and to those seeking help and the kindness she extends to them. Being a member of the CVL Council from the beginning and watching it grow into a leader in the field has been so very gratifying. Denise, I wish you much happiness, and hopefully soon you will find relief from the pain you endure. Thank you for choosing UT Dallas and for being my friend.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for being here, for the support that you give to CVL. Just by showing up and by sharing your enthusiasm for the kind of work that CVL has done since 2008 when it got started. When Denise Parks showed up in Dallas, and she needed a home for her work, and I was able to make one or two introductions that might have assisted her in getting a home for the project she was then trying to bring to fruition. Shortly thereafter, it became clear that Denise needed more of a home than anyone had originally thought because of the breadth and depth of the amazing work she was about to begin to do, along with her colleagues, some of whom you've spoken with tonight. You're looking at the luckiest man in the universe, and for the rest of my 90 seconds that Scott has awarded me to speak to you, I'm going to say that I was quoted last year, I believe, in the annual report for BBS, or perhaps in a letter that I saw from Hobson Wildenthal. But I was asked about CVL and what did I think the future held for me. And I said, well, or I was quoted as having said, that I have acquired longevity, period, possibly the end. But vitality is an elusive thing, and I wasn't exactly sure just how much time was left for me to get vital once again, if I ever was. So tonight, when I was asked to say a few words, very few words, and get out of here, what I did was I looked at something I had not actually done before, and that was look at Denise Parks' CV on the website. And there were 180 pages as it printed out on my Hewlett Packard. I ran out of ink. Denise Park featured in every one of those peer-reviewed journals that were referred to or that she contributed as a solo practitioner, so to speak. And Denise, if anything could renew my vitality as I enter my 90th year, all I have to do is to go back and read your CV once again and say, by golly, I am married to one of the most dynamic women on the planet, and I count Denise Park as one of my best friends. Thank you all for being here.
Well, thank you very much, Jack and Nancy. By the way, Jack will be at the Comedy Corner when we finish up here tonight. You'd like to take advantage of that. Great stuff. Thank you both so very much. Well, next, ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to welcome one of Denise's close friends and colleague, Dr. Patty Reuter-Lorenz. Dr. Reuter-Lorenz is Psychology Chair, Michael I. Posner Collegiate Professor of Psychology and Neuroscience at the University of Michigan. So let's put our hands together. Where am I? Oh, here you are. Okay. I keep trying to find everybody. I don't think anybody's saying that.
Yes, you did. Very nice. Thank you. Whew, there's lights are bright. Hi, everybody. Wow, what a lovely event. I am just so honored to be here. And I'm also so, I guess, impressed with how well everybody is just presenting their feelings, and it's very moving to me. So let me begin sharing some of my own. I understand that what I'm about to say is actually going to be said by several people that are speaking tonight, and it's already been said once. The first line of my remarks is, Denise is a force of nature. At the college I went to, SUNY Purchase, we had a motto that was displayed prominently at the center of campus, and the motto read, do whatever you do intensely. That's Denise. Denise makes things happen. Let me explain. So Denise was the force behind her own tremendous success. I feel like my voice is coming and going. You heard about her CV. That is Denise's self-made. Her talent, her brains, her determination, her vision, these are just some of the innate ingredients that she used to orchestrate her absolutely amazing career. And Denise makes things happen for others. Witness the numerous opportunities she has facilitated for her many successful students and trainees, their excellent science, their high-profile placements and jobs throughout the country. And then there's all that she's made happen for her collaborators, including myself. The successes and notoriety that she's catalyzed through mutual collaborations, we are here today to celebrate Denise and her ideas, her friendship, and the little bit of chaos that she often brought to the table, but always with an amazing product that had transformative effects at the end. And Denise has made things happen for the field, big time. Her voluminous curriculum vitae just shows the many contributions that she's made, her continuous funding, and all of the scientific contributions she's made to healthy cognitive aging, lifespan aging, and more recently, Alzheimer's disease and pathologies of older age. And many of you can testify to all she's done here in Dallas at the Center for Vital Longevity. I have been thrilled and grateful that she invited me to be here as part of CVL as an affiliated faculty and visitor, to collaborate with some of you, to meet the friends of CVL, and to be here in Dallas for my last sabbatical, which was 10 years ago. I'm overdue. So this is an amazing center born out of Denise's vision. So bear with me if I share a story that not many of you may know, and it's one that goes beyond the borders of our country. And it's really quite phenomenal. It's a story about Denise's transatlantic influence in Germany at the Max Planck Institute for Lifespan Development in Berlin. So back in 2007, Denise was the chair of the External Advisory Board, and I also happen to be a member. Now, they call their External Advisory Board a Beirat. That's, you know, a German word for, I think it means External Advisory Board. And so at the time, the Lifespan Aging Group, headed up by our colleague and Professor Ullman Lindenberger, had long focused on behavioral studies of aging, including studies of wisdom, behavioral compensation, and population-based studies of the characteristics of the aging mind. The work was outstanding, but like the rest of the field, there was a need for them to more fully incorporate brain science, in particular brain imaging. And as the External Advisory Board, our charge was to review the center. And in our report, Denise wrote a very compelling case that highlighted the major successes and prominence of the center, but also pointed out the critical juncture that the field was in and the need for a brain scanner at the center. Then, through subsequent interactions over the next few years, Denise, with the president of the Max Planck Society, and in collaboration with the director, Ullman Lindenberger, by the time we came back 2 years later, they were promised a brain scanner, a building, a physicist, infrastructure, and now the Lifespan Center in Berlin is one of the preeminent brain imaging centers in Europe. And Denise had a major hand in making that happen. And I suspect you'd agree that UTD's reputation as a major center for the cognitive neuroscience of aging owes a great debt of gratitude to Denise as well. So please join me in congratulating Denise for all she's accomplished and thanking her for all she's done for all of us, for UTD, and for the field of brain aging. Thank you, Denise.
That was just great. Thank you so much. And welcome to Texas. Great to have you here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is something special we have right now. We've had all kinds of doctors and scientists and psychology chairs and what have you up here. But right now, I'd like to introduce to you a gentleman by the name of Rob Park. Last name sound familiar? Yes, indeed. Denise's son. Let's put our hands together and welcome him to the stage.
So Patty stole some of my favorite material, but there's so much to talk about. So my name's Rob. I'm Denise's son and oldest kid. My sister Colleen is here too. And thank you all so much for being here with us. So I was going to begin by saying when I'm asked about my mom and my family, I say, well, my mom is a force of nature. That was the line. I wrote that before Mick said it, before Patty said it. And the reason we're all, coming to that line is that she is, in fact, a force of nature. It's this remarkable story of going from Allen Park, Michigan to Albion College to SUNY Albany and then to the incredible achievement that she's had here at UTD. And, when I think about why that happened, it's just when you talk to her about her work, the way ideas just burst out of her mind, rapid fire, it's an incredible thing to watch. But even more than that, just the incredible drive that she has to do things. It may have been a force of frustration for her. Sometimes I think I did not inherit quite the same level of drive that she does. And one of the stories I was going to tell was when she moved from the University of Georgia to the University of Michigan. I was a junior in high school, and we had grown up in Athens, Georgia, which is like slacker Mecca. I was this very easygoing kid, and then I was foisted into Ann Arbor, which was not a slacker mecca, to put it mildly. So I would meet all the fancy professors like Patty, and the first question is, well, what do you want to do when you grow up, kid? And I, was supposed to pretend I wanted to be a doctor or something, but I would just say, I have no direction in life. That was my response. This was not what you were supposed to say, but I learned from my mom we should always tell the truth. And so another example of that is those of you who've worked with her, she tells it like it is. And one story I recalled doing this was I was in 4th grade and I came home, had a rough day at school, and I said, it just doesn't seem fair. The girls are smarter than the boys. They're much better at school. I feel inadequate. And I was expecting some consolation. No, you're misperceiving things. And my psychology professor mother says, well, girls have higher IQs at that age. They are smarter. So that was... So eventually I don't know that I gained much direction in life, but I learned to stop saying it. And I was graduating college a few years later and still didn't have much direction. My mom was very concerned about what was going to happen to me. I had no plan whatsoever of what I was going to do. And somehow, through the force of nature, landed me a position working in Thad Polk's lab. And since I had no direction, that seemed great, right? Sure, I'll do a job for Thad. So I worked in Thad's lab, which was really an amazing experience because I got to sit in on lab meetings, meet all the faculty, and actually see my mom in her natural environment and see what an amazing scientist and researcher, and just the incredible stream of ideas that would flow from her in these meetings with all the faculty. For those of you who've worked with her, she's this incredibly creative, interesting, unconventional, different person, and it was an amazing experience to get to see that firsthand. So congratulations to my mom. Thank you all for being here today, and that's all I have.
Once again, delighted to have each and every one of you here for this very, very, very special night. We certainly hope it's going to be as memorable to all of you it is to certainly all of us that have had a part in putting it all together. I'm going to turn it over to Mick right now, and Dr. Rugg's going to come up here and share a few thoughts with the original force of nature, I might add. Yes, we're most excited to have her up here on the stage, so I'll step aside. Let's put our hands together for Dr. Rugg.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Scott. So I'm going to invite to the podium Dr. Addison Woodward. So he's going to share a few of his own remarks about Denise and to present an award that we have for her with me. Dr. Woodward was Denise's undergraduate mentor. He saw something in her as a young student, and he encouraged her to become a scientist and to pursue an academic career. We owe him a debt of much gratitude. And it is an enormous pleasure to be able to invite him and to see him here tonight. And Addison, please.
Well, good evening, all. This is an incredible group, distinguished as can be, and I almost feel like an interloper. We're all here, of course, because of Denise. So, thank you, Denise. Yeah. So, as you know, I'm Addison Woodward, and I was invited here because Denise gives me far more credit than I deserve for starting her on her way to a fantastic journey and a truly significant career. And I am one of the bookends of her career. It's hard to imagine, almost 53 years ago, I walked into an 8 o'clock psychology class introductory psychology class. Of course, I was wide awake, but the students not so. And I started off talking about classical conditioning, and any psychologist here knows all about that. I talked about unconditioned stimulus, conditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, conditioned response. And of course, I was quite excited about all of that. But the nuances of that paradigm, I think, were underappreciated by most of the students in class. But not Denise. I think not Denise. She was wide awake, alert, and interested. I have since heard this weekend that she and her friend Karen were doing a lot of giggling. But I don't know if it was in my class. I can't believe that they would do that. But, so what do I remember about Denise in those days? Well, she earned the highest grade in the class, but more importantly, she was very eager to learn and very energetic in her pursuits. Whatever her professors had to offer, Denise wanted to learn. Her energy was incredible, her enthusiasm boundless, her positivity was catching. Denise was curious and focused, and she was really, really smart. She energized those around her. See, these are themes you're hearing all night long, right? She energized those around her. And here's something you haven't heard. And I guess she was a force field unto herself. But we see the same things, you know? So Denise took several other classes from me. One was called Human Information Processing, which really was a class on human memory. And her research as part of that class, as well as an independent study with her friend Karen, who's here, she can vouch for all of this, especially the giggling, led to a publication in the Journal of Experimental Psychology. And that's pretty impressive stuff for an undergraduate. Denise and I have stayed in touch intermittently since then. I visited her early on in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then when she was at the University of Illinois. And there she took me on a tour of her labs, and I sat in on one of her research meetings. Other than being totally impressed and in awe with the work Denise was doing, I remember her response when I asked if she had had her brain imaged. And Denise looked at me and said, "Ed, are you kidding? There's no way I'm going to let my graduate students see my brain." I don't know, it seems like a pretty incredible brain to me. So here I am almost 53 years later, distinctly honored and humbled being asked to help celebrate the career and legacy of Denise Park. Denise, the research you have done and the research you have done and that you have led is having an impact now and will prove instrumental in making the aging process more understandable and more manageable for those in the coming generations. And David Hochberg joins me in saying congratulations for an incredible career on the aging brain.
Thank you. Thank you.
You remember the story about the brain imaging? Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Woodward. So you're going to join me, I hope, and Denise, in recognition for a lifetime of contributions to the field of cognitive aging, we are honored to present you with an award. The award will henceforth be known as the Denise C. Park Research Excellence and Innovation Award, and will be presented going forward biennially to those whose contributions to the field of cognitive aging have advanced our knowledge and understanding and led to the betterment of humankind. You are the recipient, the first recipient, and I'm sure will continue going forward to be the most deserving recipient. And so, Addison, please.
So you have the glass?
I'll have the glass. You've got the glass.
So I can handle it.
Excuse us, we have not, this is unrehearsed. So we are now officially presenting Denise with her award. I'll take it away.
It's green and orange.
Yep.
You got the glass? I got the...
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you. I really don't know what to say tonight. I'm overwhelmed by all the affection and love I feel in this room. I want to thank more than anybody Mick for masterminding this evening, and Addison as well. Addison may not remember it, but to encourage a young woman who was clueless and from a very limited background to get a PhD in 1969 was a pretty amazing thing to do. And I knew what I wanted to do from the time I was a freshman in college, all through college, and for the rest of my life. I love my work, I love my job, and I still love it. I mean, how do you find something that you want to do for the rest of your life and still enjoy it? And you can constantly reinvent yourself as a college professor by learning new things and deciding to pursue new interests and new topics. And I've been able to do that thanks to many, many people. And mostly I want to thank a lot of people here tonight. First, I'd like to thank Mick, as I mentioned, for his vision and generosity tonight, and I guess acknowledging my contributions to the field. We worked together for more than 10 years side by side, and we're truly dear friends, and I find myself often going to Mick when the things that seem the hardest and the most difficult things to do. I always go to Mick, and he always gives me wise counsel and good advice, and I thank him for that. And I also want to thank Aaron Doherty, Camilla Cristiani, and Melanie Corley for putting together this beautiful event and beautiful evening. I'd like to thank the Schlegels for supporting this evening. It means a lot to me, and I'm just amazed at what you've done and that you were willing to do this for me. And Scott as well has been just a wonderful presence here tonight and made the evening very special. And I want to most of all thank all of the people who are here tonight for coming. Some of my students came from as far away as Turkey and Germany to participate in the evening, and it really means a lot to me. I also want to take a moment to thank the UTD administration. I have been treated so incredibly, unbelievably well at UTD, and I really, really, really appreciate all that you've done to accommodate to my needs and concerns. And you know, I guess if I bug you about something, that I will be relentless until I get it. So you, so you usually just give it to me right off the bat. And I really appreciate that. And let's see, what else do I have here? I want to thank my students and colleagues. My students for all that they mean to me. They're like a giant extended family, and I'm so proud of all their achievements. And I find myself being really proud even when I see a new car in the parking lot or someone has a new house. I feel like, well, I've actually supported that by getting a grant and paying all these people. And it feels really good, and I feel really proud of not just their academic achievements, but also their personal achievements, and watching them evolve into adults and take on lots of responsibility is really gratifying, and they mean so much to me. I'd like to thank my colleagues for their brilliance and their amazing achievements and really all the fun that we have. People don't realize how much fun it is to be a college professor. We've shared meals across the world at wonderful places and have had just wonderful times. And the other thing that I've realized is how funny college professors are. And I don't spend as much time with professors as I used to. And I really miss the humor and the day-to-day banter, which has always got a very high level of witticism to it. And it means a lot to me. And let's see, I'm almost done here, folks. And then I know, okay, and then finally, I think I would like to thank my children. I know it was probably not so great to have such an unconventional mother at times. And I know that Rob lives in fear of what my next idea is going to be and what new proposal I'm going to make, and then I will go off and do it, and he will tell me what a ridiculous idea it is and how I'm wasting my time. But eventually he sees the light, and I see the light, and we all work happily together. But seriously, I'm super proud of both of my children. They're everything I wanted them to be, which is ethical, contributing human beings to the world, and responsible. And I'm really proud of both of you, and I thank you for being such totally wonderful children, and you mean, as you know, so much to me. And I won't tell any family stories like the time I was in such a I was in such a hurry to get to work that I ran over Rob's foot. And it's amazing what you can do to a foot with no consequences whatsoever. But they are wonderful children. We have had a wonderful time as a family, I think. And I think there's many more happy days ahead of us. And finally, I would like to thank the people of Dallas. This has been the funnest place I have ever lived, without question. The generosity of the community, the friendliness, the openness, and the willingness to embrace the newcomer has meant so much to me. And I would also like to mention how much I miss some of the members of our family, Bert Moore, Hobson Wildenthal, Bill Buziotis, and Jim Bartlett. I lost 4 dear friends in a very short period of time, and I miss them terribly, and I wish they were here tonight. I really do. But I want to acknowledge how much they have meant to me and how much they have meant to the CVL. And one other thing I want to sort of realize over time, that I like to create things a lot. I found some of the happiest times I've spent in my life have been in my office at 2 in the morning, writing a paper all by myself, and realizing everyone else on the faculty was at a party, and I was sitting there writing this boring paper. And every New Year's Eve I sit down and I find myself writing a journal article, until one year I threw a New Year's Eve party. And it turns out no one goes out on New Year's Eve. And they all came and we had a great time. But I have spent a lot of nights in my office by myself, and probably been the only person in the building except the cleaning people, and got to know them very well. But I really love the beauty of what I do, and I find the work very creative, and the beauty of numbers that all fall into place, and the symmetry of a beautiful experimental design. It's aesthetically pleasing to me, and that matters a lot to me. It sounds like a weird motivation, but the beauty of the work is a part of the pleasure of it, and I really enjoy it. So I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. And I don't know that I deserve all this recognition, but it felt great. And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
It's been an honor to honor you tonight, Denise, but don't go anywhere just yet. There is more. I'd like to call on Mr. Greg Boyston. Greg, please, who has a couple of special announcements to make to round the evening off. Please, Greg.
Thank you, Mick. Denise, we have a surprise for you.
Really? We've had a lot of surprises.
You love surprises. My wife and I decided, we've been donating to CVL for quite a few years, and we got to thinking at the beginning of the year, what can we do to make an impact to CVL and to you? And we discussed it, and we said, well, let's give a donation, a sponsorship to the Denise C. Park Research Excellence and Innovation Fund. So Denise and I are presenting to you $100,000 to a sponsorship this year, and we'd like to thank you for everything you have done, and we're honored to present this to you.
Okay.
So, why are we doing this?
Thank you, Greg and Denise. I appreciate it.
We're very appreciative of you. We really are. Denise and I have had family issues with mental health issues. My parents had Alzheimer's till the end of their life. Denise right now has a sister in a mental health institute in Saxe. This has hit us hard. It means a lot to us to do something about it. So for that reason, we're honored to present this. But that's only surprise number one. Surprise number two. We are members of the Texas Instruments Alumni Association. An alumni association, of course, Texas Instruments has had something to do with UTD over the years, right? And we have donated to UTD over the years. We had a large professorship done about a dozen years ago. So we were talking at the beginning of the year, what can we do for UTD? We'd like to give a gift as a part of the Texas Instruments Alumni Association. So the leadership team and us, we decided, again, we would like to donate to Denise C. Park Research Excellence and Innovation Fund a total of $200,000 from our alumni association. We have a lot of UTD alumni, and they love to give money. So again, we're donating this to you and to your.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ray. I really don't know what to say. I'm terrible at asking people for money, and I'm not good at it. And Mick and I have tried to pursue some gifts, and this is so meaningful to us and all the work that we've done together. And the money will be used very carefully and very wisely. So I really don't know what to say, but thank you. It seems like a really good.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Greg.
We love you and we appreciate you, and we just hope that one of these days there'll come a time when our generations to come, we won't be talking about mental health issues anymore. We hope that through your efforts and the efforts of CVL and other institutes, that mental health issues will be behind us. So this is our little cause to help you out.
Well, thank you. I don't think our grandchildren will have Alzheimer's disease. I'm not so sure about anybody in this room. But that was not. But I think that we'll have this problem solved by the time our grandchildren become old, and I can't wait for the day because it is a real blight on our country and our civilization. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, let me get to the tail end of the script here. Greg, thank you. Those wonderful announcements. I mean, that's above and beyond. That's just great stuff. And certainly thanks to everyone who has made a gift to the Denise C. Park Fund. You all had one of these in your program tonight. So if you would like to make a gift to support the center and its mission, you have this card. We'd love to have you be a part of the team, as they say, and there'll be one of these in a little gift bag that you're all going to receive when you leave here tonight as well. And there are several members of the Office of Development, and I'm not sure where they are. There's Aaron right over there. That's who Mick was talking about earlier tonight, has done so much, and I guess it was Denise mentioned it, has done so much to bring this all together tonight. Melanie, Holly and Anna, wherever you are, stand up. Okay, there's Holly. Thank you. Any of those young ladies, just they'll be more than happy to talk with you and give you whatever you need. And all I can say is, I guess it pays to be a force of nature, doesn't it? Well, it's unbelievable. I would just like to thank a couple of folks here. Certainly our good friend Mick and Aaron, your entire group, what you did to bring this all together. And I certainly, again, would like to thank Bob and Myrna Schlegel for being our honorary chairs here tonight. They, yeah, right. They're always there for events like this and making a difference in just so many incredible endeavors and philanthropic endeavors here in our community. And also, I'll give you a little plug, Bob. I don't know if you've seen his book. We did an event at Success North Dallas not so long ago, but it's called Angels and Entrepreneurs. And it's a great read. I know a lot of CEOs that have read it and gone, wow, this is really great. So if you get a chance, Angels and Entrepreneurs, and that's a book that Bob has written. That said, my thanks to my wife, Carol, for allowing us to be the chairs for this incredible endeavor. And when I heard it was for Denise, 10th anniversary, I mean, that's a no-brainer, as you all well know. So I hope that you'll do something when you leave here tonight. Be a part of the team with this little card, whether it's $1, whether it's $10, whether it's 1,000, whether it's 10,000, whatever works for you. But we would love to have 100% inclusion and involvement in what this is all about. But when you leave here tonight, I hope you will be the conduit, I guess, best put, to this incredible community we all call home. Let them know what this incredible institution called UT Dallas is doing and allowing people like Denise Parks to take their legacy and 10 years plus, look what it has become. And look what CVL has become. And look at all those incredible individuals that were up here tonight sharing her legacy, but they had become a part of it as well because of what she had visioned all those years ago. So thanks to you all. And most importantly, thanks to you. Thanks to being who you are, what you're all about. We love you dearly. Continued success. We're with you every minute of the way. So thanks very much. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. Thanks again.
Good night. Thank you.